Hey guys, how are you all doing? In today's tutorial, we're going to talk about our beloved Lu Yi, one of the most explosive mages in Mobile Legends. Lu Yi is an extremely powerful hero thanks to her high burst damage, capable of eliminating squishy heroes in just seconds. Another strong point is the control applied by her passive, which can be very annoying for enemies, and in many situations decisive in fights. Her ultimate is an essential tool for ganks, invades, and also a great way to surprise enemies since it's almost unpredictable. Despite all this potential, many players struggle to use her properly. It's common to see beginners messing up their combos, not activating the passive, or mispositioning during fights. On top of that, hitting the first skill can be quite a challenge. But don't worry, in this video, I'll clearly and objectively explain how the passive, skills, and combos work. And at the end, I'll share some builds and tips to help you maximize your gameplay with this true killing machine. Passive. Lu Yi's passive allows her to apply yin and yang marks on enemy heroes, lasting up to 6 seconds. Whenever two enemies with opposite marks come close to each other, they are pulled together, suffering a brief stun and magic damage that scales with Lu Yi's total magic power and level. This is, without a doubt, her main source of damage and crowd control, making her extremely powerful in teamfights. In addition, each time Lu Yi applies a new mark to an already marked enemy, she gains a shield that also scales with her total magic power and level, stacking up to 3 times. At the same time, she gains 50% bonus movement speed, which gradually decays over 2 seconds. This mechanic gives Lu Yi sustain and mobility, which is essential since she doesn't have any escape skills. Skill 1. This is Lu Yi's main damage skill, and also the best way to apply yin and yang marks. When used, Lu Yi launches an energy sphere in a designated direction. Once the sphere hits an enemy, it spreads out in a fan-shaped area, dealing magic damage and applying a yin or yang mark to all enemies hit. You'll notice that the skill's color changes with each use, indicating which mark will be applied. It's very important to pay attention to this, since Lu Yi's entire gameplay revolves around her passive. The skill works with charges. Lu Yi gains 1 charge every 8 seconds, reduced to about 6.5 seconds in the late game, and can store up to 4 charges. Additionally, each time a yin-yang reaction occurs, Lu Yi gains an extra charge, allowing her to stay active longer during fights. Skill 2. Lu Yi summons a circle of energy at a designated location, dealing magic damage and slowing enemies by 60% for 0.5 seconds. The circle lasts for 6 seconds, dealing continuous magic damage throughout its duration. It's an excellent skill to deal damage and apply slows, but its main strength lies in triggering the yin-yang reaction. Just like her first skill, its color alternates with each use, indicating which mark it carries. When the passive reaction is triggered through this skill, enemies are pulled toward the center of the circle, instead of being drawn toward each other, making Lu Yi's crowd control even stronger and more effective in teamfights. Ultimate. Lu Yi's ultimate allows her to create a magical portal, capable of teleporting herself and her allies to a designated location within its large range. This ability is perfect for strategic plays, whether it's to ambush enemies, initiate fights, or escape dangerous situations. With good positioning, Lu Yi's ultimate can completely turn the tide of a match, enabling decisive kills and game-changing ganks. Combos. Lu Yi is a fairly simple mage to use, as long as you have a good understanding of her passive. Before performing any combo, make sure that Skill 1 and Skill 2 have different colors, since that's essential to activate her passive. For the first combo, use Skill 1, followed by Skill 2 to trigger the passive, applying crowd control and bonus damage. After that, keep attacking with Skill 1 to deal even more damage. To make it easier to trigger the passive mark, you can use Skill 1 on minions or jungle monsters, since it's much easier to hit them than to target enemies directly. The second combo is basically the same, but reversed. Start with Skill 2, then use Skill 1 to activate the passive. This combo is a bit more risky, as enemies can move out of Skill 2's range and prevent the passive from activating. That's why it works best in team fights, especially when you have tanks with crowd control to help. These combos are simple yet highly effective. The main challenge lies in landing skill 1, but with some practice, you'll quickly master the timing and become much more effective with Lu Yi. Build and emblems. Lu Yi is a mage focused on burst damage and relies heavily on her first skill to execute plays efficiently. Enchanted Talisman is an almost mandatory item since Lu Yi consumes a lot of mana when using her first skill. It also reduces cooldown time, making her abilities much more effective. To boost her burst damage, you can go for Holy Crystal, Blood Wings, and Lightning Truncheon, which all work perfectly for that purpose. Glowing Wand is another essential item for Lu Yi. Besides applying a healing reduction effect, it's also a great source of damage against tankier compositions due to its burn effect. Winter Crown is an excellent item for critical moments since Lu Yi doesn't have any escape skills. The most recommended emblem is the Mage Emblem, as it provides key stats for Lu Yi. As for talents, the choices are quite situational. For the first slot, you can use Inspire, Rupture, or Thrill. For the second slot, Weapons Master, Wilderness Blessing, or Bargain Hunter. And for the last slot, I recommend Lethal Ignition, since Lu Yi deals high skill damage and can trigger it easily. The most suitable spell is Flicker, which is almost mandatory due to Lu Yi's low mobility. These are some of the builds I use and recommend, especially for beginners. Feel free to use or adapt them according to your playstyle and the needs of each match. Tips to improve your gameplay. Lu Yi stands out in the early game thanks to the high damage of her first skill, which allows you to farm and poke enemies right from the start. After reaching level 2, this pressure increases even more since her passive can now be activated. Use this advantage to dominate your lane during the first few minutes of the match. Lu Yi's first skill is, without a doubt, one of the biggest challenges for beginners because hitting it requires accuracy and practice. Avoid using the auto-cast option. It can seriously affect your aim. The ideal way is to always aim manually to make the most out of the ability. Practice your predicts to hit moving enemies more often. It might seem difficult at first, but you'll get better with time. Also, using this skill on minions or jungle monsters can be very helpful in certain situations. When moving around the map, always pay attention to the color of your skills and make sure to alternate them to activate your passive efficiently. Try to constantly switch the color of your first skill for better combo consistency. Avoid using the second skill just for that purpose, as its cooldown is relatively high. Lu Yi's ultimate is an extremely powerful tool when used strategically. Don't make the mistake of using it only to reach mid lane faster. It might seem convenient, but it's a huge waste of potential. Thanks to her high burst damage, you can use it to gank other lanes, initiate team plays, or even surprise enemies positioned deep in the map. These plays are often unpredictable and very effective. In some cases, you can even use the ultimate to escape and stay alive. Even though Lu Yi deals great damage, her mobility is limited. The brief movement speed boost from her passive isn't enough to guarantee survival. Therefore, always focus on good positioning and map awareness, especially during team fights. By using your skills accurately and activating your passive at the right moment, you can make a huge impact in battles. That's it for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks to everyone who watched until the end. If this kind of content is helping you, check out the playlist dedicated exclusively to tutorials. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss the upcoming videos. Thank you so much for the support, and see you in the next video.